meeting. Obviously, we got one person missing from the room. Mr. John Anderson is, of course, in the hospital and had some procedures to correct an issue. And we are thinking about him and hope all the best comes out with that. And I know everybody in the room thinks that too, so, but it just wanted to make that known. First on the program is the, grant, matching funds for the alleyway. Somebody wanna speak to that? You've got 3 minutes to state your case. And it will be throughout the meeting.
So I didn't actually ask for the called meeting or be put on it. I don't know how I ended up on a special called meeting, but while I'm here, since we are on it, the actual scope, you have to agree to this, so it's up to you, but with that scope of work, the $50,000 that you signed off on that contract, the original 50, the way that works, all contracts that go to the state, you have to pay the 50 up front and then you're reimbursed the 35,000. But, and this is the contract on that. If you sign this and I turn it in, however, we have gotten a pass, which never happens, to allow for 25,000 up front. Pay the portion of that one, and then as the work progresses, do the other 25, so that the town will not be out of pocket 50,000 immediately and wait for the reimbursement. You would only be out of pocket 25,000 and then reimburse on that first half, then go to the second half. So this is the actual contract. I can.
Okay, my understanding is that was not gonna be discussed.
Yeah, it was, I don't know how we ended up on a special call. I didn't, I only requested,
That it was for the regular meeting.
yeah, so I'm not sure how it happened, but I figured since it was on there, I'd give it to you tonight anyway and get that over with. That's just the contract for the contractor, for his scope. You don't have to sign it tonight. You just need to have it.
Well, as I just said, I don't think this was supposed to be on tonight, was it, Lisa?
Well, I thought we had it set up as special plan. I don't know where the confusion came in, so.
Because we have no information about it. The
No,
Alderman
it was all the last meeting, Betsy. Everything was covered the last meeting. All this is the contract.
Okay, I'd very much like to see what was covered at the last meeting.
Yeah, I think I sent that stuff to you.
I mean, it hasn't, either it came through and went to a spam folder, but I didn't see it.
Okay.
So, we have the letter that says we're on the hook for $15,000.
Well, really, it's, yeah.
Is this?
Well, it's $50,000 grant. $15,000 is your out of pocket, but you have to pay the 50 and be reimbursed the 35. That's just how the state grants work. But that's the letter, that's the stuff that you signed off on back in 23. This is not the additional money. This is not about the additional money at all. This is literally just the original portion. Has nothing to do with any of the stuff that I asked for in addition to. So that's not what this is.
Just what you had at the last meeting?
Yeah, the grant was $50,000.
Yeah.
You agreed to the grant. The grant was $50,000 and it's a 70-30. You have to get reimbursed for your 70%. So it's the same exact thing. It's not any different. That's just the one between us and the
We keep
contractor.
adding to it though. I didn't know we had to pay the whole thing.
No, I didn't add anything to it. That's the original grant. The state grants
About
are,
that at the last meeting.
that 2023, we talked about that.
Pardon me?
We did that in 2023. Yeah, that had nothing to do with what I asked for the other day, that was additional money. That's not what I asked, I mean, I'm not asking for any additional money at this point, this is just the original, what we signed off on grant. The $15,000, again, is what is the 30% of the grant. But you have to pay the grant in full and get it reimbursed once the tickets are turned in. However, again, rather than 50,000, we have special permission, I mean, it's a special exception, I mean, to do it half and half, which they don't do normally. But we stressed to them that the town was in a little bit of dire straits financially. So we needed that assistance, and they allowed that to be split into two payments, to two sets.
So we're still the 50,000, 35,000 split.
Right, you'd still get the 35,000 back, but you wouldn't have to go up, you wouldn't have to come out of pocket with 50,000 up front. Instead of the 50,000 up front, you would only have to do the 25 up front and get your reimbursement on that half, and then, once that's submitted, then we would do that a second time. Because normally they want it all up, and then you get reimbursed once the tickets are turned in, that's just the standard split, grant split.
I'll be honest, I mean, it's been a long time since 2023, been a while. I remember my concern in 2023 was channeling of the water, off the buildings and down downspouts. I remember not being real satisfied with the plan then, but
That was all rectified though. We had to go back through, we went through with an engineer, we've gone back 3 times now because what Ronnie originally said was okay, and then we decided wasn't okay, we have now rectified. But again, that was covered in the last session. So everything has been rectified. It's an 80% water take now.
yeah, I apologize for having missed the last
Yeah.
meeting, but I think I'll have to recuse myself on this.
Yeah, it's not, but you don't need to vote on anything, you're not needing to sign anything tonight, I'm literally just turning it in. Just because I was already on the agenda, I'm handing you the contract, that's it. You don't have to do anything tonight.
Any questions, board?
I'm thoroughly confused, I'll be honest, but I apologize for having missed the last meeting.
Moving on then. Christina? Read the question.
So I'll read through, I believe most of you all have copies. I'm going to read through all the questions that was drawn up by John Anderson and petitioned by the citizens of Belleville. And they were addressed with the letterhead of Sheriff Bedford County, Tennessee, Austin Swain, answered by Flock and Nikia, Officer Nikia Elliott, which is also here this evening, and I believe we're going to have Flock with us at some point. Okay. So, Bell Buckle Board of Mayor and Alderman, thank you for inviting me to attend the BOMA meeting on August 12th and allowing me the opportunity to answer concerns brought forth by the residents of Bell Buckle about the Flock LPR system. I commend the citizens that brought these concerns forward, and I commend you for listening to the voices and seeking answers to the questions that were posed. They are an example of how government should operate. I firmly believe that to ensure trust with the community, government, including our law enforcement agencies, we must be transparent as possible in our actions. During the meeting, several questions were submitted by residents. As you know, it was requested that the questions be answered in writing for your review. I have included those questions and answers in this document. Some of the questions, which are 3, 4, and 7, were referred to Flock safety as they were best suited to address the technical aspects of the LPR system. Questions concerning funding, operational practices of the Bedford County Sheriff's Office were answered by me. Questions referred to Flock safety are noted in the answer. If there is anything else that I can do to assist, please let me know. Number 1, what is the original source of funding for this project? Does federal money flow directly or through other government entities in the project? The source of funding for this project is Bedford County alone. The Bedford County Commission voted to fund the project in 2025-2026 fiscal year through its annual budgeting process. No federal money is used for this project either directly or indirectly. Number 2, who is promoting this project? Exactly who promoted it to the Bedford County Sheriff's Office? What reason was given for its promotion? Was the original promotion from a corporate or governmental entity? We got a lot to read here, folks. This question may best be answered by giving the history of the project. The flock cameras were promoted by the Bedford County Sheriff's Office. These cameras have been successfully utilized to combat crime and locate missing persons in other jurisdictions for a while now. Upon investigating the technology in 2023, it was clear that it could benefit the people of Bedford County. This was affirmed when an agency in Kentucky assisted our department in locating an elderly lady with dementia who had been reported missing from our county. Upon entering her vehicle into the flock system, we learned that she had been traveling through 2 other states. She was located and reunited with her family. We were fortunate in this case that an out-of-state agency who was a participant in the flock LPR program offered their assistance. Without the leads generated by flock, I cannot guarantee that the outcome of this case would have been a positive. During 2023 to 2024 fiscal year, the state of Tennessee opened the Violent Crime Intervention Fund grant. A segment of this grant included a competitive collaborative enhancement grant. This required a collaborative project between 2 or more agencies. The Bedford County Sheriff Office partnered with the Shelbyville Police Department to start a flock camera program, placing cameras in the city of Shelbyville and Bedford County. Unfortunately, this grant enhancement was granted on a first-come, first-served basis, and we could not get the project submitted in time to receive the funds. Afterward, the city of Shelbyville began their own program with the city funding the project. In 2024, members of the Bedford County Sheriff's Office met with Will Pepper, a representative of flocking, to discuss details for beginning a program in the county using Bedford County funds. After much discussion, it was decided to present the flock cameras to the Bedford County Public Safety Committee at their January meeting. Following a favorable recommendation, the project was presented to the Bedford County Finance Committee with options and pricing for both 8 and 14 cameras dispersed throughout the county. The Finance Committee voted to recommend project with 14 cameras to the full commission for a vote. At the April meeting of the Bedford County Commission, commissioners voted to approve moving forward with the project at a cost of $3,000 per camera per year, plus a one-time installation fee. The final contract was signed in April, committing to a first-year cost of $47,850 and a $42,000 per year renewal. A large piece of developing this program was deciding where the cameras would be placed. During this discussion, it was determined that Bell Buckle would be a prime location. This was due to several factors. First, Highway 82, Webb Road, runs through the middle of Bell Buckle. Second, 3 roads intersect at this location. Third, Bell Buckle is a popular tourist area with events that draw large crowds of people from all over. In addition, the businesses in Bell Buckle have been victims of crime in the past, and these cameras would potentially provide valuable evidence in solving these crimes. In March, engineers began identifying locations in the chosen areas that would provide the proper angle for the cameras to be effective. In doing so, they discovered that the only viable location for the Bell Buckle camera was on the center island, a piece of property owned by Bell Buckle. In April, I, Nikia Elliott, attended the Bell Buckle meeting of the Board of Mayor and Alderman to present the flock camera project and request permission to place the camera on the property. The board voted and granted that permission. With the contract signed and permission granted, the project was sent to the State of Tennessee Department of Transportation for permits. The estimated time for approval from TDOT was September. We are currently awaiting that approval. Once permits are granted, installation will begin. 3. Will the surveillance system involve AI, having the potential capability for facial recognition, lip reading, and identification of vehicles based on characteristics other than tag number? This question was referred to Flock's technical team. Their answer is as follows. Flock Safety does not utilize facial recognition software. Flock's LPR technology has no audio capability nor the ability to read lips. Our LPR system is focused on vehicle details only, not people. There is no way to search or filter for a person in the Flock LPR system. LPR cameras take images focused on the rear of vehicles on public roads. Flock's machine learning technology allows officers to search for vehicles based on a unique vehicle criteria: vehicle make, body type, color, back racks, and top racks, and license plates, including temporary tags and state recognition, so that your officers do not miss an investigative lead or objective evidence. Oftentimes, witnesses and victims of crimes are unable to provide a full or even partial license plate number associated with a suspect vehicle. So Flock's vehicle fingerprint technology assists officers by providing an investigative lead even when there isn't a full license plate number available. The key AI technologies that help Flock license plate readers to function include license plate state and type. Our system uses AI to recognize which state a license plate is from and what kind of plate it is. License plate optical character recognition, OCR. We use advanced image recognition for OCR sequence generation to read and convert license plates from images into a searchable text. Vehicle type, make, color, attribute. Our technology identifies key details about vehicle using machine learning for classification. Vehicle visual search. Our system utilizes AI to compare vehicle images. These embeddings are matched to one another for reverse image search, allowing us to find visually similar vehicles. Object detection. Our system utilizes AI for the detection of multiple objects within images. For example, the tool determines when a vehicle is detected in the image and stores it accordingly. Flock has the following measures in place to prevent Flock Safety AI from implementing biases. Through evaluation of accuracy, various metrics, based on classification classes or object detection classes, i.e. vehicle make, colors, types, license plate states, and types. For license plates, breakdown of performance by state. Calibration of model outputs to better ensure predicted classification, OCR, confidences are accurate. Research and development and planned deployment of a license plate readability model to reduce false alerts for low quality plate captures, plates that are in the distance. Customer feedback cycles to improve performance of all models. For example, tools are available in the system for users to flag plate misreads or errors in vehicle classification. This information is used to retain the machine learning model. Avoiding biases-prone AI tasks, facial recognition. Flock Safety is deeply committed to the responsible and ethical application of artificial intelligence, particularly within our license plate recognition technology. To uphold this commitment, we have established a robust framework of internal audits and continuous evaluation. These processes are designed to thoroughly assess the ethical implications of our AI's use cases, ensuring that our technology serves public safety reasonably and without bias. A cornerstone of our ethical AI strategy is the regular performance of comprehensive impact assessments. These assessments delve into various facets of our AI, from its data acquisition and processing to its deployment and real-world effects. We meticulously analyze potential societal impact, privacy considerations, and the prevention of unintended consequences. By proactively identifying and addressing these factors, we strive to build and deploy AI that is both effective and equitable. Furthermore, we place paramount importance on human oversight at every critical step of our AI's life cycle. This means that while our AI automates certain tasks, human intelligence and judgment remain central to decision-making processes. From the intentional design and develop phases to the ongoing monitoring and refinement of our AI systems, human experts are actively involved. This ensures accountability, allows for nuanced interpretations that AI alone cannot provide, and provides a crucial safeguard against algorithmic errors or biases. Our dedication to human oversight underscores our belief that AI should augment rather than replace human capabilities and promoting safer communities. Number 4, to what other data systems will the bell-buckle data be linked? This question was also referred to Flock's technical team. Their answer is as follows. The data is owned 100% by the Bedford County Sheriff's Office. The Sheriff's Office is in complete control of who can access the system and under what conditions the Bedford County Sheriff's Office will share data with other cities or jurisdictions so that it aligns with your values. Flock Safety will never share or sell the data collected in Bedford County without permission. Any search of the system is logged and audited. Number 5, what is the necessity for this system? The mission of the Bedford County Sheriff's Office reads as follows. The men and women of the Bedford County Sheriff's Office are committed to the protection of life and property of the citizens and visitors of our county. We are committed to providing professional law enforcement, corrections, and criminal justice services through a partnership with our communities that builds trust, reduces crimes, creates a safe environment to work and raise a family in, and enhances the quality of life for our citizens. Emergency services are by nature a reactive service. An ambulance response is a reaction to a medical emergency such as a heart attack. A fire department response is a reaction to a fire or motor vehicle crash. Law enforcement is unique in that we must be as equally proactive as reactive in our efforts. As stated in our mission statement, our primary goal is to protect lives and property. To be truly effective in this endeavor, simply reacting to a crime is insufficient. We must make every effort to prevent it from occurring. Bedford County is growing quickly, and with that growth comes challenges. It is imperative that our public safety offices keep pace with that growth, as well as the technology available to help improve our effectiveness and efficiency. More residents naturally result in more crime and more calls for service. The traditional response to increased work volume is to hire additional deputies. While there is no technology that can fully replace a deputy, hiring additional personnel is financially burdensome. To hire, train, and equip one deputy costs the county well over $150,000 the first year, and approximately $75,000 per year afterward in pay and benefits alone. To add one deputy per shift for 24-hour coverage requires the hiring of our 4 deputies, 1 deputy per shift. In fact, this exact request was made this year to the county commission at a price tag of nearly $750,000 for pay, benefits, vehicles, firearms, body cameras, ballistic armor, and uniforms. It was quickly realized that the county could not accommodate the request without a tax increase. The request was denied as the commission understandably did not feel that it was a good time for a tax increase. Flock cameras cost $3,000 annually, a tiny fraction of the cost of a deputy. They require no benefits package, no sick days, no vacation days, and no sleep. While these cameras are certainly not a replacement for a trained deputy, they do serve as a force multiplier. This technology provides an efficient tool for gathering unbiased evidence and alerting officers to wanted vehicles and persons. This will enable the Bedford County Sheriff's Office to be more effective with the resources it currently has. Flock has been adopted to enhance the Sheriff's Office in these areas. Number 1, crime deterrence. The camera's known existence acts as a deterrent to criminal behavior, much like officers on the streets in marked cars and uniforms. With tight budgets that prohibit the hiring of more deputies, these cameras act to supplement the existing manpower by providing 14 sets of eyes that work 24 hours a day for a fraction of the cost of a deputy. Preventing crime and disorder is the #1 goal of policing. Preventing crime is always preferred to catching criminals. A foundational principle of policing states that the absence of crime and disorder are the true test of law enforcement efficiency, not the visible evidence of police action in dealing with it. The Flock camera's ability to collect evidence and aid in successful criminal prosecutions makes criminals think twice about committing crimes. Number 2, crime solving. While preventing crime is the #1 goal, we accept the fact that crime will occur. When it does, it is important that we bring those offenders to justice. The Flock system provides both leads and evidence to help our deputies solve crimes, prosecute offenders, and restore victims. This evidence may be in the form of a location data, vehicle description data, time frame data, and most importantly, criminal identification data. In addition to the cameras in Bedford County, deputies have access to cameras in other jurisdictions, including surrounding counties and even other states. Number 3, early notification. Most crimes are crimes of opportunity. Most criminals are repeat offenders. Far too often, we have seen crimes in Bedford County being committed by people who do not reside in the county. This is especially true in property crimes such as burglaries and theft, as well as human trafficking and sex crimes. Many of these offenders have already committed crimes in other jurisdictions, and those law enforcement agencies are actively seeking them. Because the Flock system is connected to those other communities, it can alert our deputies that those individuals have entered our community. This may be a stolen vehicle, wanted person, or sex offender. This early alert means that our deputies can respond and act before our citizens fall victim to the same crimes. Once those deputies make contact, they can verify the information and act accordingly. Number 4, missing children. Nothing is more frightening to a parent than the idea of their children being harmed, kidnapped, or missing. This comes from our own officer, Nikia. As a father of a child on the autism spectrum, I have unfortunately experienced this fear firsthand. While my child was successfully located and no foul play had occurred, that is not the result in every case. The Flock system is a partner of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. It is also connected to the Amber Alert system. With Flock's vehicle fingerprint technology, A description of the vehicle can be enough to quickly locate an abducted or missing child. Number 5, the elderly. Another problem faced by our deputies and our community is the disappearance of the elderly suffering from dementia and Alzheimer's. Often, this segment of our population is still capable of driving, but they can easily become disoriented and lost. Once this occurs, they are prime targets for criminals and environmental elements, like our extreme temperatures. Locating them quickly is critical. Fortunately, vehicle information is readily accessible for most. The flock system allows us to quickly establish an area to search. This includes areas outside the jurisdiction of Bedford County. It was recently said that Bell Buckle's primary safety concern was traffic, not crimes that occur in our other communities. While I agree that traffic may be the most common safety concern, it cannot be the limit of our concerns, and crime is not relegated to other communities. As stated earlier, the test of our efficiency is the absence of crime and disorder. This does not occur by luck or happenstance. It requires both a law enforcement and a community effort to proactively prevent crime from occurring. Flock cameras are a proactive tool that can help prevent crime, solve crimes that have occurred, locate missing loved ones, notify us of bad actors that come into our community, and help us effectively and efficiently fulfill our mission to protect the lives and property of the people of Bedford County and its visitors. Number 6, how will ICE assess the processed images and the information extracted from those images? On what basis is it known to be factual that ICE's ability to make use of information obtained by the surveillance system is strictly limited and controlled? As stated above, the Bedford County Sheriff's Office owns the data and has full control over which law enforcement agencies it chooses to share data with. The Bedford County Sheriff's Office may use and share data with prosecutors or other law enforcement agencies in accordance with law. Likewise, all data will be stored in accordance with TCA 55-10-302 and will thereafter be deleted. As always, the decision to share data with other law enforcement agencies, including ICE, will be based on the circumstances of the case and the nature of the investigation. Example of cases where the Bedford County Sheriff's Office may choose to share data with federal law enforcement agencies would include narcotics investigation, gang activity, human trafficking, child sex trafficking, and massive retail theft operations. As stated above, the mission of the Bedford County Sheriff's Office is to protect the lives and property of the residents and visitors of Bedford County. Should a threat of criminal activity be determined to exist, the BCSO will cooperate with federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies in accordance with the law to protect the community. To maintain transparency and integrity, the flock system requires a search reason and unique user ID to conduct searches. This creates an audit trail allowing the Bedford County Sheriff's Office to ensure the system is being used legally and within the parameters set forth by department policy. Only users who have been properly trained in the use and operational protocols of flock LPR system will be permitted to conduct searches or flag vehicles. Flagging is defined as marking a specific vehicle for attention or treatment in a specified way. When searching for or flagging vehicles within the LPR system, information must be recorded to include data of entry, tag number and state, vehicle description, incident case and event number, reason for search, reason for entry, any special instructions, actions to take, whether to stop and interview driver, notify a specific officer, or do not stop and monitor only. Expiration date and requester's information. Simply put, assess the information extracted from Bedford County's flock LPR images is limited to authorized users for criminal investigations controlled by the law and BCSO policies and monitored by audit to ensure compliance. Number 7, can we know with certainty how long the images and the information extracted from flock LPR images will be stored? What government entity will control storage and how? This question was referred to Flock. Their answer is as follows. Yes, Flock Safety's default data retention is 30 days. At the 30-day mark, images are hard deleted and unrecoverable unless they have been downloaded by law enforcement as evidence in a criminal investigation. During the data retention period, Flock Safety acts as the guardian of the law enforcement customer's data, and the data is securely stored on the AWS government cloud. All data is end-to-end encrypted. Any images that have been downloaded prior to the 30-day mark would be stored in the respective law enforcement agencies' evidence repository system and in accordance with evidence retention practices and laws. And those are the answers to the questions that were petitioned and signed by the citizens of Belleville and drawn up by John Anderson. Thank you.
Yes, questions about question one.
Could you speak up, please?
Question 1. If you have comments, please make, limited to 3 minutes. What is the original source of funding for this project?
Can I ask a question about the continued funding? It says it's gonna be $3,000 per camera per year?
Correct.
Okay, and is that expected to go higher each year?
That is locked in for now. Now granted, if we are still doing this 20 years down the road, I assume that, prices increase. So, right now, we are locked in. I wish I bought the contract, but the recurring cost is but it's $42,000 per year, for what we currently have installed.
Okay, and you say there's gonna be other Wartrace, Black Creek, other outstanding areas in the county that will also have these?
So yes, there's 14 cameras total in the county, and I have a map kind of printed there if that helps you any, but as you can see, it just kind of creates a circle around the county on most of our major entries and exits into the county. So that's the only one we have is here in Bell Buckle, but the other 13 are around other areas of the county.
Do these cameras have the ability to be upgraded to other specifications?
No, we do not want anything traffic related. We do not, which Flock has stated to us, and I think Kristen is online now.
She is.
She can she may be better to answer this question, but we are not interested in traffic enforcement. We do not want facial recognition on these cameras. Wouldn't really do us any good anyway on the traffic camera. Facial recognition is something that's used more, like if Bell Buckle decided to put cameras up when you have your crowds. But those would be cameras generally that are on areas where you have people on foot traffic. Vehicles really don't have a whole lot.
But could it be upgraded through Flock?
Kristen, is this something that you would be better to answer as far as the technology?
Yes, I think I heard the question was, do we utilize facial recognition
Could you stand up
technology?
and talk, please?
So about this tall.
Fox does not currently utilize facial recognition technology, and we don't have plans to. If we were to offer that upgrade, that would be an opt-in for each city, and that would be something that we would need to approach Bedford County about, but we do not utilize facial recognition software currently, and have no plans to that I am aware of in the future.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Kristen, just so I can kind of elaborate on that, if that technology became available, would that require basically a new camera system to replace what we have now?
I don't know that it would require a new camera system, but it would certainly be something that we would reach out to our customers to let them know that this feature would be available. And typically any feature that is added that is outside of the scope of your current contract would have to be opt-in and would be with your permission.
Okay.
Are there any current plans to expand beyond, just the downtown, camera?
For the Bedford County project, at the moment, no. Now, I can't tell you that in the future, we may look at it and say, hey, there's some other areas in the county that we think these might be effective too. So I'm not gonna say no, we would never add any other cameras to it, but currently, no, it's just the 14.
Okay, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be occupying time, if somebody else wants to jump in. What other, what crimes have been in Bell Buckle? Cause there was somebody that said that there was a crime, that there was somebody.
Excuse me, brother. I think we'll take these questions one
Okay.
after another, and I think that will be covered somewhere later in it.
Okay,
For far as the cameras, we have cameras, once you come in the city limits, we have a school, you're on camera. You're coming into town, my understanding. And, Webb School is totally behind this, according to the new headmaster. But just throw that in there.
Okay.
But, if there are no other questions.
can I ask another
one?
question?
Any other questions about question one?
I would just, have you started installing the cameras? Did
I'm
TDOT,
already in
in
question
this
two.
answer, you say TDOT had, at that time, and all was not approved, have they? And have you begun installing elsewhere?
We have not yet.
Okay.
I feel like we're getting close just because I've had some questions. I think there was like another piece of documentation that they wanted for the permit that I had to send last week. So I feel like that may be soon, but I mean, when I'm talking about the state, it's hard for me to guess. They told us September roughly, and of course, obviously, we've made a little past that now, so I think we'll be soon.
Thank you.
If nothing further, question two, who is promoting this project? Exactly who promoted it to the Bedford County Sheriff's Office? What reason was given for the promotion? Was the original promotion from a corporate or government entity?
Can I say something? It has nothing to do with question two, but this is, I think, where some of the confusion is coming in. So y'all had amended in the last meeting, and I do have that printed, where it said Alderman John, second by Alderman Benata, made motion to approve as amended. Alderman Humphrey, second by Alderman Benata, made a motion to postpone installation of flock in the island until November 3rd, 2025. All questions presented by Bell Buckle citizens will be clearly and completely answered by flock and the Sheriff's Department. So they had compiled August 28th a list of questions, and those were the ones that they were wanting answered that did not get answered, not just those petition ones originally submitted.
I think the board agreed to get the questions answered that come in with the petition. Is that
Well, I think
correct?
that's what y'all amended though in the last minutes.
We only amended them to maybe,
Did you and
Well, that's
John
not
not have a
stated,
conversation
it's
with
just
that?
and these were the questions that were asked by the board.
But in the minutes, it is stated difference, because y'all do have in here, Alderman John, second by Alderman Humphrey, made a motion to approve amended draft minutes of August 2025. Previous minutes stated, Alderman Humphrey, seconded by Alderman Benetta, made a motion to postpone installation flock LPR in the island until November 3rd, 2025, or as soon as written answers on the petition are presented before the board. So y'all had amended it from the petition to all the questions by the citizens.
And these were the questions that were presented at that time, that we had amended that verbiage for these questions, and that was what was answered in.
So when John submitted these, you didn't ask John what these were, you just threw them
John-
aside?
No, I don't know anything about those that were after.
Nobody got these?
Those
We
were
have one
after
question
that.
for Nikia.
What,
Well, that's
were-
addressed at the end of this.
I do
Right,
have
that was
some,
addressed
because as,
after.
I know
I-
some of them were
yeah.
already repeats of what was in that,
Yeah.
but that was why they composed all these, was we were under the understanding that Flock was gonna answer those as well as y'all.
well, I had initially, I'd said I would come back within 30 days with a written answer. And I ended up, I think, turning it back in at like 11:59, if it was due by 12 o'clock. But the problem was, I just kept getting questions emailed to me. And I thought, well, I'm never gonna get these answered in a 30-day period if I'm getting new questions every few days. So some of those I had forwarded to Flock, but I wasn't able, I knew I would never get you an answer at the rate the questions were coming in. I wasn't sure exactly why they were coming in groups of questions that I was getting them emailed to me. But I didn't wanna lie and not answer the questions that I'd said that I would answer within the 30 days, so I went ahead and turned those in. Now, if there are other questions, I'm glad to try to answer those, and of course, Kristen is here, to help with that too, cause there may be things that, the technical aspects that I'm not that guy. So I'm glad to try to answer anything, but yeah, I honestly didn't see an end to the questions. It started with 7, and I think at the end, I was up to like 60-something questions, and each question had 4 parts, and I thought, I'm never gonna get through this. So I wanted to return something to you, and those seemed like the ones that the board was interested in initially, so.
I know it was a lot of questions, but that was what the citizens kind of compiled, because they were concerned about those
Yeah.
questions, so, okay.
Does anyone have a question about question 2? Moving on to question 3.
You said about 2, did you say, you said 2? Oh, I'm sorry, on 2, can I ask a question?
Sorry.
Okay. What kind of crimes have we had in Belleville?
I don't know what kind of crimes you haven't had in Bell Buckle.
I can answer two, I can tell you 2 of them. Well, number one, whenever during the RC Cullen Impact Festival just a couple years ago, when we had the motorcyclists come through town,
Can you speak up, please?
the 2 motorcycles that came through town, that came into the parade and hit the gentleman right here,
Yeah.
do you all know they actually came up hidden first, where I was at the turning point,
Yeah.
stood there and put my arms out and told them they could not come through my road. As I stood there and shaked, texting the others that were on my feed for Moon Pie event, that there's 2 motorcycles in town, they just come up here and come up on me where I have runners. And when you know we have just 1,000 runners in the morning, that's not including those 1,000 runners' families that are here to watch them. That's not including the people that I line up for a parade on the back field. That's not also including the people here to see the parade, let alone all the other attendees that are here in town. Those 2 vehicles right alone. They got caught on a camera at a gas station. That's how we caught them, because of a camera, taking a picture of them and their license plate. Another crime, it was a couple years ago, I was going out to Miss Julie Beasley's farm to cut corn, so I had my son and his friend in my car. I come up to the end of my street, which at the stop sign on High. I look to the left, I look to the right, I look to the left again as I'm easing out, and something just didn't look right. I put my car in reverse in time enough as a car flies by, flies over those railroad tracks and keeps going. then the police are behind them, because they have to also go through a school zone, the web school zone. Okay, so there's children out there. That car did not consider any of that. If there was a flock camera there, and had they not been on her tail, and it was a female driver, the camera would have caught that. So I was a witness myself to 2 crimes here in this town. And I only know it went out to Julie's farm is because after we were heading that way, the police had gotten her off the road and had her on the side of the road.
Would you say that we have a crime problem here?
I mean, I don't know if I would say a crime problem, but you have crime. I mean, you have crime like everybody has. I mean, I can think of stores along this storefront here that the doors have been kicked in on and burglaries have taken place. Now granted, I've been at the sheriff's office 25 years, so I can't tell you exactly when all these occurred, but I've worked several, where you've had burglaries in the storefronts here. We've answered plenty of domestic violence calls in Bell Buckle, just like everywhere else. Thefts, burglaries, I don't know if y'all remember, it's probably been 3 or 4 years ago now. It wasn't within Bell Buckle, but just outside on 82 at the wedding venue. We had, during an event, we had, I can't remember how many cars it was that were smash and grabs, and we ended up locating them. And that was a multi-state ring of individuals. They were out of Florida. We ended up going and getting them in Florida and bringing them back. So, you know, to say that, I mean, you have every crime that every other town has. Now, to say that you're a crime-ridden town, no, I wouldn't say that at all. But like I mentioned in there, you know, that's the way you wanna keep it too. There's a lot of places that used to be really good neighborhoods and really good towns that people wanted to live, and then all of a sudden, sometime later, everybody's looking around going, what happened? That's why I said it takes an effort. To test your efficiency in law enforcement it's the absence of crime. It's not how many arrests are you making, it's the absence of crime. I think you're blessed to live in this town, compared to a lot of other places. But I also want to keep it that way. I don't want you to look back, 20 years later and say, what happened to the belt buckle that we used to know? And it takes an effort. It takes things like this to be proactive and try to prevent it from moving in here.
I have a question. So, did you solve the crimes using the flock system?
With
any of the crimes that's?
the ones that I was talking about? No,
So
we didn't
yeah,
have it. Some of those are to this day. We don't know who did
Okay,
those
so the
crimes.
ones that you have solved,
The one that I was talking about out here, that was on a camera, is how we ended up finding them. But that's because they took somebody's bank card and tried to use it as an ATM. But I think there were 5 states looking for those people. And, we ended up getting them, but, I don't know how much damage they did in between the time we identified them and the time they left here either, so.
So with the instances for what you said, the speeding, y'all already said that's not gonna even
Correct. This will not
do
this
speeding,
will not take care of speeding.
If there wouldn't have been a cop, that wouldn't even matter, they wouldn't have been
It
able to do
wasn't the
anything.
fact that they were speeding, it was actually that she was running from them. And, if she would have turned left, there would have been no way they would have caught her. Had she kept going, because she kept going straight, that's probably the only reason why they finally caught her in Chapel Hill.
And then the other thing is, the motorcycle incident, wasn't that over there, like, would that have even been on the block camera anyways? But y'all said
I
the
don't
block
know. It
camera's
may
gonna
not.
fix
And
it.
that's the thing, you got one camera, so
Right.
it's not gonna solve every problem in Bell Buckle, obviously.
Right.
But it is certainly, it's 100% more than you have right now. So, it would certainly help. And plus, one thing I always tell people is, when you look at a camera like that, the fact that you don't see it on camera also tells you something. We know they didn't go that way. So even if you have a camera and it doesn't pick up what you're looking for, it at least eliminates an option, so we can focus somewhere else, so.
And what if the camera, for instance, was moved down over to that intersection though, that does War Trace Bell Buckle leading to the interstate, would that not be a better location than right there?
There's actually one down,
There
there's
is
gonna be
one
one
down
down
there,
there,
okay.
yeah, one at the interstate.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
It's
is the
already up.
field of view on the camera?
So I think the field of view on them, and it can vary a little bit, but Kristen, correct me if I'm wrong on this, it's about, is it 70 feet,
75.
75? Is that?
That's correct, 40 to 70, I believe I
Okay.
looked